Hello, this is a quick video to show you how to attach the foam shoulder rests that I gave out to some of you yesterday. Very high-tech piece of reconstituted foam and one or two elastic bands depending on what you need to keep it secure. So the elastic bands can stay on the violin, so what you do is you hook it over the corner of the belly and get it over the chin rest and then over the button there and tuck it underneath the chin rest. This one's a little bit dodgy. There you go. I mean, most of them, this chin rest's a little bit tricky because it goes around that way, but most of them should lie flat onto the wood there. Okay, so then you should have a diagonal line across the back. What you do is you put the foam in, okay, so that when this one's a little bit big for this violin, okay, so that it lies at a slight diagonal across the back of the violin there. Okay, now if you want to secure it more securely, if it's sort of flapping around and annoying, then you can have another elastic band that goes the other side of the chin rest, okay, and secures it in place. Now it will take a bit of adjusting all the children to different shapes and sizes, but we talked about why a shoulder rest is needed. So the way that the violin works is that the base bit here rests on the collarbone, and then the weight of the violin is supported between the thumb and the finger, or at the moment the left hand. Okay, so the shoulder should actually not get involved at all. So I suppose it's called a shoulder rest because the shoulder rests. Okay, so the shoulder doesn't get involved with wanting to keep the children still and fairly passive along this part, and they move from the shoulder. They don't hunch this up. So if we can get that as early as possible, it's a really good discipline. So what this pad does, it fills the space between their chest, really. So I mean, it probably should be called a chest rest, between their chest and the back of the violin, so that the weight slightly goes onto the chest and they're not having to use as much, they're not having to support it as much with their left hand. Now, because little people have got little necks, some of them may find that this foam is too big to fill that gap. Some of them can find that they support it naturally and are totally free without needing a rest. The reason we put in the rest is because sometimes if the children have it in this position, they want to do that and they want to rest it on their chest without supporting it. So they're not used to using these muscles yet. The hand gets tired, so they either rest the elbow like this so the weight ends up going on the belly of the person and supported by the hand, or they drop it and it goes in front of them and it goes down onto their chest. So if you have this in place here, it sort of helps keep the violin in the right position, feels a little bit more secure for them, but they still keep that freedom, and what we're wanting is to not have that shoulder come up to try and support the violin. So I hope that makes sense. Piece of recon foam and 2 elastic bands, or 1 elastic band depending on what you need, and I'll have spare elastic bands and spare foam next week. Okay, thanks.